Hey guys, I decided to cook some beef. I've got some beef mince, some vegetables. Just going to throw in some butter. Oops, real butter. Now to stop your butter or oil, whichever one you use, from burning, you actually use both. So a little bit of oil and real butter. It should not burn unless it's left on there too long, right? So just gonna melt that, and then I'm gonna throw in my mince and just cook that until it's nice and brown. Alrighty, let's see how we go. And I'll just, it's oops-a-daisy. It's not a good thing to hear when you're cooking, oops-a-daisy. I'm chucking in the mince. It's a kilo of beef mince. I've just got to break it up, obviously. And I want to show you how I make different flavours, especially when it comes to turning this into a gravy base, you know. You do so many things with mince, but this is one of my kids' favourites. Mine too, I suppose, but I'm more the shepherd's pie sort of person. They do love that. But it's kind of like that, but it's all just the ingredients are all different way around. So I'm going to fry that. I'm going to throw in a little bit of, excuse the sound, a little bit of salt, Himalayan salt, a tiny little bit of, just a little bit of mince. I don't want to overdo it. Let's see. That's better. Now, Alex doesn't like the texture of onions, so I've got them chopped and I'm going to cook them very finely so they break up and go see-through. And yeah, just the texture, so I'll make sure I fry those like that. Everything else is going to be fried. And it's a bit of a process just breaking this meat up, but no big deal. Just do it slow. These electric fry pans are not too bad, especially when you're having a heat wave like we are. It saves putting a whole oven top, all the different oven tops and bits on. But so I'm going to be doing something different here after the beef is all cooked. So I may even add more butter and oil. So it can be cooked a bit slower. So I'll continue moving this around, cooking it, make sure it's not on too high. No. But I'll just keep cooking that for a moment. Be right back. Okay, as you can see, it's still frying, but I do want to add garlic early in the process. I had a little bit of garlic left in a jar, so I just added a little bit of water, shook it around, and I will pop that in there. Those onions are reducing nicely, where you can hardly sort of see them, but the flavours are there. That's the main thing. It's all about flavour. Alrighty, so it doesn't really, I can move this out now. But I will add this garlic. It's minced garlic that I buy in a jar. I usually use a lot of garlic, but I've used some water just to get the rest of what was in the jar out. So I'll throw that in there. I have, and I'm just going to keep on frying this until it's all nice and brown. And that's what we're doing. Won't take too long. The thing I do next might surprise you, because I like to do things different, because it's all about flavour. Keeping the flavour in, giving it different types of flavour, like a roast flavour. Now I don't have any pumpkin or any sweet potato or anything red. The only thing I have is one carrot, but I'm improvising with other vegetables. So it's looking pretty good there, brown-wise. But what I want is I want to fry it, you know, so it's nice and sort of crispy a bit for that flavour. I also want to fry something else, and that is, hold on a moment, just going to make room for what I'm about to fry. Remember, that's all beef, water, not water, sorry, that's, oh yes, a bit of water from the garlic, beef, salt, garlic, flavours, onion, the onion there that's reduced down to basically nothing, it's a red onion. Now I pre-boiled these, oops, but a lot of potatoes, okay, pre-boiled. Now there's a lot there, you can see. I want to fry those, so they're basically cooked. So I want to fry them up, so the starch is out of them. I have kept some of the water from the potato to go towards the gravy. And that's something I do that's very different to everybody else as well. And I will say, from behalf of all my kids and people who have tried my gravy, it's the best. It really is, because it's about flavour, keeping the flavours in. A little bit of fat doesn't matter. This beef wasn't 100%, but it was nearly 90% and only 10% fat. That will reduce. Well, I want that fat because I want to sort of roast these up in here. I don't want to use the oven, so I'm going to fry them, basically. I'm going to fry them up as I would if I was going to fry anything. And it might get a bit noisy, so I'll turn it off for a moment while I fry these up. And then when I do, I'm going to mix it all together and add more things. Okay, won't be long. Alright guys, I'm just going to turn it down just so you can actually hear me a bit better. If it gets too dry and it's sticking or anything like that, add more. Like, I'm pretty fine here, but if yours is like gone dry, add more butter. I'm just going to add, I don't need too much, so add more butter on top of those potatoes. Don't mix it in, just put it on top, so you're coating those potatoes. And you want to like have them fried a bit, so don't keep on moving them around, just let them sit and fry. And a tiny little bit of your extra virgin olive oil, little sprinkle, little, not much, don't overdo it. You know, it's not we're not doing a deep fried meal here, we're just trying to fry those up. Okay, so I'll turn it on back up high and it will get noisy, so as I said, don't turn them much. Give them time to sort of brown on all edges before you move them around. Okay, so I've just turned mine up. I haven't moved the mince much, it's not burning. If it is burning, move it a little bit on the edges, like so. Okay. You can move everything independently without it mixing in with each other. Okay, so we've got a bit of a frying thing happening here in the middle. That's what we want. We want to fry those. Okay, I'm not going to move them much. I'm just making sure everyone's sort of touching the butter. Remember guys, real butter rather than margarine if you can. Otherwise, it's all good. So yeah, fry them up. Actually, I can smell the flavours. I might sprinkle a little bit of salt. Himalayan, obviously pink Himalayan salt on top of those potatoes, which I just did. I've already put mint in the meat when it was cooking, so I don't want to do that. All the other vegetables that I am adding have been pre-boiled. I'm just sort of fastening up the process, you know. Otherwise you have to basically boil everything in here. That's when it becomes more like a casserole. I suppose it will end up like that when I throw the gravy on, but I'm just showing you the different processes, different ways of using mince, and my way of doing gravy. It's a special way. Okay. All right, well, I'm letting those fry away. I can smell it, they're starting to crisp on the bottom, so I'll turn them around. I might just stop that for a moment and turn them around. All right, be back in a sec. Okay guys, I'm happy that that's all nicely cooked. The smell is beautiful. I'm gonna just mix it all together. There we go, that meat, those potatoes. Move them around gently. You don't want it unless you want broken up potatoes, because they will break easy. They'll go nice and round on the edges, which is what you want. Okay, and then I'm going to add all the rest of my, well, pre-cooked vegetables. I've kept the juices from the potatoes and from the other vegetables that I'm about to add. That's the important part. Okay. Alrighty, so we have obviously cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, corn, peas, yeah, and like I said, they've been strained, but I've kept the juices to those, and while it's frying, it can fry all the rest of that. That's very dry, those veggies, as far as they haven't been sitting in water. They have been strained quite a while ago. Move around slow, unless you want it slushy. You don't want it slushy, you know. Yeah. Your fry pan's going to be on medium. You're not going to have everything blasted and frying, and you know, it's not a fry up. You can see where we're going with this. I mean, you can eat that the way it is. I mean, yeah, like, you know, delicious. With toast, on bread, on its own, whatever, with a side of mashed potato even. Hey, I've done that before. Had a meal like this and done a side of mashed potato. So I love me mashed potato. What I'm going to do is show you how I make my gravy. My hair's just fallen out, which is a problem, so I just have to sort that out. And it's one of those things I can't avoid. I have to stop right now and do. I'll turn that down, because it's a process. I shall return. Okay, hair back up. Okay. Alright guys, this is the end process here. I'm going to put, hair's back up, I'm going to put this back on, sort of medium high, sort of high actually, because I want to make it thick, you know, as far as a thickener. Some people call it a sauce, other people call it a gravy. You know, I'm from Australia or English heritage, so I call it a gravy. So all these vegetables are all nicely cooked together, and the flavour, the smell is beautiful. And like I said, I've kept all the juices from these vegetables that were boiled, and a little bit of the potato. And what I do is I buy a very cheap, no name brand, just a very cheap thickener. You know, like your cheap brand gravy type cheap brand mix that you just mix with a little bit of cold water. And then this is the trick of it not being lumpy. You don't want lumpy gravy. No one does. So, okay, that's cooked. Now I'm going to turn it into something different. We could eat it like that, delicious, but no, I'm going to throw in those juices. So all of a sudden this is going to look wet, and you're going to go, oh no! But believe me, it's going to be okay. Okay, those juices. You can probably hear them bubbling. There's quite a lot in there. Now I've turned it into something very different, but I still want to keep the form that it's in. Okay, a lot of veggie juices. So all that goodness is back in there. Wasn't it? You don't chuck it down the sink. No, 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 no. Put it back in. Now the trick is, you don't want lumpy gravy, and easy done. Turn it off. Actually turn it off, right? So there's no bubbles. Do it slow. This is a slow process. Now I've made my little bowl here with, always make too much, not enough, especially if you've got it thickening on you quickly, right? Because you can always keep the rest aside. So I've got my cheap gravy mix in cold water, mixed nice, and, well, I'll show you. It's mixed, you know, no lumps. And I'm going to tip that whilst it's sort of off, but very hot, very slowly in here, tiny bit at a time. And I'm going to move the bottom, but I'm not going to mix it around and around. I'm just going to move the bottom, add it gentle. It is off, but it will still thicken. Starting to thicken already. More over this way. And because it's not bubbling away hot, it's not lumping up. If I don't want to put all that, I won't probably put the rest in. It looks as though that's nicely thick. And as you know, it's been turned off, but it's still cooking. You know, you can turn something off, it still is in the cooking process for quite a while. You know, that's why you do let your food sit. Yeah. So that's thickened up nicely. And as things cool down, they actually thicken more, you know, with these kinds of recipes. So that, delicious. Now I would love to, I will probably have that later on when it cools down, of course, on toast with a knife and fork. I'll probably do that tomorrow as well for brekkie. There you go. I really don't want to put any more thickener in there, because if I do, it's just going to go like thick and gooey. Don't want that. We still, you know. And look, I'll do a taste test. All cooked shit, I suppose. Find a spoon here, clean spoon. Just try a bit of that gravy, because I know what everything else that will sort of tell me. Okay, I'll just try it. Oh, gonna blow it. It's hot, obviously. Oh my goodness, that's really good. Yeah, that's great. I'd probably put a little bit of salt on it, but I'd probably do that after I put it on my plate, because it's this, you know, it's like your own personal seasoning, whether you want a bit of more salt. Because I'm older, I do like a little bit more salt. But that's lovely. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching how this basic meat and vegetable stew is done, and appreciate how the veggies are sort of cooked together and sort of half fried, just to get that flavour, and of course the veggie juices. And have a great week ahead. It's Sunday night here now, and soon it's time to tuck her in. All right, bye guys, love from down under. Take care. Bye for now.